Welcome back, everybody, to the Chroncast. I'm your host, Alex Rickman, editor, head writer at Canucks Chronicles, and club reporter at Altitude FC. Joining me, as always, from the Hockey News, Kaya Antic. Kaya, how's it going?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, thanks. So we'll get right into it, I think, with talking about the Canucks game against the Sharks that took place Friday. I'm forgetting what day it is already. Off to a good start. So we're recording just after the game has ended, about, I want to say, an hour later. The Canucks fall 3-2 to San Jose on the road in the second game of their away trip. Kaya, rough thoughts on the game?
Rough thoughts on the game. Um, the refs called a lot of penalties, I feel like, for a game. I mean, understandable. Loved the response to Kane by the San Jose fans. Yeah, I thought Talapilo played pretty good. We'll get into that a bit later. Other than that, what the heck was happening in that last minute of the game? Because okay, so if you missed it, the clock stopped at 40. The Canucks call a time. 40 seconds left. Canucks call a timeout. They're on the power play, so they have an extra man. And I actually don't know if it was power play or 5-on-3. Anyway, so they do that. Puck is dropped. Eventually, it's a bit of a scramble. Askarov gets it, holds on, a whistle. Same thing happens again. There's 13.7 seconds left. Puck drops then, and then there's a bunch of action in the in and around the crease. And then the puck goes to the corner, and there's a bit of a scrum that develops, and they decide to all start fighting each other because it's hockey. So with 1.2 second, and then you think the game ends, like the final buzzer goes. But no, the referees convene that instead they make sure that no one from the Canucks bench is coming off, no one from the Sharks bench is coming off. With 1.2 seconds to go, where is this game? There it is. 1.2 seconds to go. They decide to call 3 penalties. So Elias Pettersson, 2 minutes for roughing, Ty Dellandrea, 2 minutes for roughing, and Barclay Goodrow, 2 minutes for cross-checking, with 1.2 seconds remaining. And then they're like, because everyone was involved in the scrum, we're going to do the face-off outside the zone. That's when John Shorthouse is just like, oh yeah, no, we're not, like, nothing's going to happen here. And then there's like another, and I was like, okay, whatever, the Canucks lost. And so I go back to looking at Instagram on my phone. I'm like, okay, nothing exciting is going to happen. And then about a minute passes because the refs are still talking to each other. And they're like, oh yeah, no, actually, number 43 for Vancouver didn't get involved in the scrum. So we're not going to do that. The face-off is going to be in the Sharks zone, which... After all that, it took about 4 minutes at least to play 1.2 seconds. It was like an American football game. That's what it was like. And yeah, that was a questionable move. The puck drops, nothing happens, game's over. What else that was interesting? Well, Macklin Celebrini got 4 minutes on one play. But he also tried to chicken wing Max Sasson and just missed. He was, I have no idea what he was going for there. Like, broski, you don't need to do this. You have 2 assists in the game. You're doing great already. You don't need to do this. But no, he's just like, boop, and like completely misses. Sasson, I mean, I understand. He still falls. I don't know if there was any contact made there, but you shouldn't be trying to chicken wing somebody, Mac. Anyway, yeah, that happened. Nothing was called. Adam Gaudette scored the game-winning goal because why not? Shocker. Yeah, what a game. The Canucks had 34 shots on goal. Once again, special teams is the killer for the Canucks. So they allowed 2. I said there was a bunch of penalties in this game. They allowed 2 power play goals on 6 chances for the Sharks. So not It's under 50%, which is good. One of those was a 5-on-3, so you have to put that into perspective as well, because Quinn Hughes got unsportsmanlike conduct for existing. The Canucks went 0 for 7 on the power play against the San Jose Sharks. That's not good enough. Yeah, that's just not good whatsoever. Power play, let's see where the Sharks are for power play. Oh, no, penalty kill. That's the thing you want to look at. The San Jose Sharks, they're 11th in the league, tied with the Utah Mammoth at 81.8%. The Canucks are still last for the penalty kill. But coming into this game, they had killed, I believe they said it was 12 out of 13 their last few, so... I mean, that's pretty good. That's an upswing. They're the top half of the league just barely for the power play. Yeah, what the heck? 0 for 7 on the power play is an insane metric. But
no, and I mean, in addition to just the numbers on the power play being that bad, the eye test was not being passed on the power play. It did not look nearly aggressive enough, nearly sharp enough. They weren't shooting the puck enough, I felt. Too many people holding it and making too many passes, just being passive. There was one play at the end of the first where the puck was leaving the zone and Hughes just kind of left it, where I get there were like 2 seconds left, but I think you could have at least gotten it and thrown up a shot of some sort. Mm-hmm. So just letting it go frustrated me. Listen, we're coming off of a win against Anaheim that none of us expected. 5-4 win against a really good Ducks team. So it feels a little weird to be this upset about a loss, but also just with the general direction this team is trending in and how we didn't even look good in that game against the Ducks. We won that game very much by accident. So to now have this loss against the Sharks on top of that, it's just not good enough from a team who has gone in revving up expectations for the fan base from the beginning, trying to push for more and still just not being able to get any kind of positive results going. And who now sits third from bottom of the NHL.
Yeah. I'm also going to say something about the Sharks, like people have been saying about Canucks rebuild and stuff like that. The Canucks started their downswing. I'd say the 2013-14 season. Accurate. I mean, they made the playoffs a year later, but I would say it all started with the John Tortorella hiring.
Yeah, like somewhere in that ballpark for sure.
Somewhere in that ballpark, because that's the year that like everyone left. Most notably, Hall of Famer Roberto Luongo. Because John Tortorella, I have a lot to say about that man, but we'll get into that today. What else was I going to say? That's not bad about
starting the downswing at the same time.
Starting the downswing at the same time. So they make the playoffs in 2015. 2020 they make the playoffs in the play-in round. The 2015 round was a fluke. 2020 they make the playoffs in a play-in round in a year that the Tampa Bay Lightning win the cup against who did they even play in the final? Dallas. Right. Yeah, because Corey Perry was a Dallas Star. Yeah, they win the cup against Dallas in Toronto because that makes sense. It was in Toronto, right? It wasn't in, or was it in Edmonton?
I forget which bubble they had it in.
They had it in one of the bubbles. It was the bubble playoffs. And then the Canucks make it in a wild year in 23-24. And yeah, sure, they've had flashes of good times, like 23-24. But in that time, the Sharks have gone from unstoppable to irrelevant to coming back, and people say, oh, it's a long rebuild process for the Sharks. What do you want to say about the Canucks' constant mediocrity? Like,
yeah, because
that's been longer. Anyway, I'm not good at math.
Like, with the Sharks, yeah, it was a long rebuild. Yeah, there was a lot of nothing in there, a whole lot of nothing going on. But they're at least in a position now where, in a few years' time, if they get the next couple steps right, this is going to be a dangerous team in San Jose. This is going to be an exciting team to watch. The Canucks are in a position right now where there's really no light at the end of the tunnel right now towards where they're going to get better, barring some absolute miracle, something that the front office and ownership right now seem to be thinking they can make happen or praying will happen. I don't see a way forward for this Canucks team without rebuilding right now. Meanwhile, San Jose have, again, like you said, in a shorter time than us, gone from great to irrelevant to back on the upswing. We've just been somewhere between going down or flatlining the whole time.
The San Jose Sharks are only out of the wild card standings right now because Utah has a game in hand.
Mm-hmm.
They're a point behind Vegas. They're a point behind Seattle. They are 2 points behind Los Angeles in second for the Pacific Division. Anaheim's in first, which, like the AI bubble, when is that going to break? Yeah. What? That's all I can say. What?
And, I don't think the Sharks are going to be contenders for another year or two.
No.
But they're still in a position where they have something. There's something to cling on to and say, okay, if we can hang on for a little while, things are about to start rewarding us as fans.
Mm-hmm.
The Canucks have nothing right now. What can you look at the team and be optimistic about? Even in a rebuild, yeah, it sucks when it's happening, but you can at least look at a rebuilding team and say, okay, right now things are terrible. But it's an investment. You can look at it and say, okay, right now things are not good, but it's going to get a lot better. You want to talk about, too, the Sharks going into irrelevance for a while. Look at some of the other teams around them. Look at Chicago. Look at Utah, the artist formerly known as the Arizona Coyotes. Look at someone like Ottawa. Look at someone like Montreal. These teams, all around the same time or something like that with when the Canucks stopped being relevant, they did the same thing. Look at where they are. Look at where we are.
Yeah, the Montreal Canadiens made the Stanley Cup final in 2021, were last in the league the next year, and made the playoffs in 2025.
Yeah.
4 years.
Yeah.
4 years. That's how long it took for the Canucks to make the playoffs again, but they never really had that same, Montreal represented the West in that year, and it was a whole other thing. But also, you mentioned, what was that other team you mentioned? Ottawa Senators. They made it back to the playoffs, coached by Travis Green. That's all I'm going to say.
And, I also want to say, I understand that rebuilding is not as easy as it seems on paper. It's not like going into Chell, trading a bunch of assets, and then in a few years you can just start signing players again randomly out of nowhere because it's a bunch of robots. You're dealing with humans here. There's always things you can't account for. There's always things. There's risks within a rebuild, too, because, the example that commonly gets cited is Buffalo. And I get it. I've cited that example as a rebuild is not a guarantee. What it is a chance. That if you commit to the rebuild, you commit to doing it the right way, the way a team like San Jose has, you can get somewhere. Buffalo, I feel has tried to take shortcuts on the rebuild the whole way and not let it go. See where that's gotten them. Same thing with us. We've taken the shortcuts. What has that gotten us? The 1970 expansion class has just become a factory of sadness.
Yeah, pretty much. I will say, Buffalo has a better home record than the Vancouver Canucks by miles. Granted, the away record is flipped, but the Canucks are 3-7-1 at Rogers Arena. Buffalo is 8-5-2 at home. That's a winning record on home ice. Yeah, sure, they're 1-6-2. Let's ignore that.
Even if we want to just ignore home and away record, they're tied on points right now.
They're tied on points right now, and
we
they
both
have
have 22 points.
They have a higher winning percentage because they played one last.
All that these shortcuts have gotten us is to be the Buffalo Sabres. What?
The Leafs are that bad?
Oh yeah, the Leafs are...
What happened?
The Leafs and the Oilers right now are basically the only things bringing me joy in the NHL.
Okay, because the Oilers, they always start bad. They're not even that bad right now. Okay, they're I think the East
really
is,
bad right now.
They're... Okay, I was looking at their...
If you watch the Oilers play, too...
I looked at their place in the standings. Yeah.
If you watch them play right now, too, it is bad.
the East is way more tight because what do you mean the top team in the conference? The top team in the Eastern Conference is the New Jersey Devils with 33 points. The bottom team in the Eastern Conference is the Buffalo Sabres with 22 points.
Yeah.
Only 11 points. The Western Conference, 40 for the Colorado Avalanche. They have one loss. Regulation loss. Somebody look at their skid planks, because what the heck? The lowest team is the Nashville Predators with 18 points. So, what?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is Eastern Conference 2025 rigs. Western Conference 2020 rigs with Mercedes. Anyway.
Yeah. Or if you want to look at, like, going back to the idea of teams that have rebuilt and haven't, just look at the vibes. Look at the culture around the teams right now. In Vancouver versus in Utah or in San Jose. And Utah's had a little bit different because there was the relocation and everything as a big vibes reset with how bad things were getting in Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
But if you look at the San Jose Sharks, the vibes are there. Even when they were terrible last year, it looked like people wanted to be there.
Best last place team.
Like they were, Vancouver FC reference, it looked like they were there to actually play hockey. They were showing up. They were actually giving it what they could out there. Even if the team wasn't good, they were ready. The last 2 years in Vancouver, things have not been good. Like, as big as talent acquisition is towards a rebuild, it's obviously one of the main things you have to do. Resetting your culture and developing a team culture that can actually win, to me, is just as, if not more important, towards rebuilding. Like, this team, like, the culture is so fundamentally broken right now. You need to just give it a chance to actually reset to somewhere good, and you need to commit to doing it the right way and not trying to keep, like I've been repeating here, but like this team has been doing for years, taking shortcuts, trying to get it to happen right now, trying to come up with a fast track plan. Trevor Linden got fired for wanting to rebuild when Jim Benning said, I can have it done in 2 years. 8 years of Jim Benning got us nowhere. However many years this current front office so far has gotten us really nowhere. When is someone in this organization going to clue into the fact that shortcuts don't get you anywhere in the NHL?
Yeah, like, it's like playing Candyland. Like, you could pull a shortcut card, but then you could pull another one and you'll be sent right back. Don't know why that was my analogy, but that's where we're going with that. I had another point to make about rebuild. Oh, culture. Yeah, so the San Jose Sharks, I know yesterday was American Thanksgiving, which, boo. But also, the...
Happy Thursday to any American listeners.
Yeah, happy Thursday. Just a regular Thursday. You don't need to get all colonial about it. The San Jose Sharks had a team dinner. I believe it was hosted by the Toffoli's, based on Kat Toffoli's Instagram story. Which, like, the entire team was there. Everyone was there. Will Smith brought, like, a banana chocolate chip bread or something like that. Like, it looked like they were all gelling. Could you imagine the Canucks having 10 players at a team dinner?
I can barely imagine them having 5.
Listen.
The only time I've seen our players out together this year was a lunch between Quinn Hughes, Adam Foote, and JT Miller.
Yeah. The, like, if Max Verstappen and George Russell can sit next to each other at the dinner in Qatar last season, the Canucks should be able to stand each other for, like, 5 minutes off the ice. You're grown men. Like, I don't know. It's something is not right.
Like, this is just, like, I get it. The owner wants to win. The front office want to win. I get it. I want to win too. It's not going to happen this way. It's not going to happen in the present. The current core, the current culture doesn't work. Make it work at some point. But it doesn't seem like they want to do that.
Yeah, no, it just seems so, like, insular that, like, it's just a bunch of spaghetti at the wall, see what sticks.
Yeah.
Kind of.
And I do want to quickly...
They don't have other inputs because they're so hostile to outsiders.
Yeah. I do quickly want to highlight really the one thing I can call 2 moments I can call a positive from today's game. One, What a goal from Elias Pettersson. His goal, if you didn't see, like they were saying on the broadcast, little reminiscent of that OV goal against the Arizona Coyotes way back when. Fantastic moment from him, starting to get his game back on, which is great to see. The other thing I would like to say is Nikita Tolopilo. He has stepped up in these past 2 games when called upon, returning from injury, getting thrown right into the action in the NHL, but he's been doing nicely. While Thatcher Demko still recovers from his injury, although he is expected to potentially be back soon. We'll see what happens there. I'm just saying what they're saying. Kevin Lankinen currently away on personal leave, so, wishing him the best with whatever is up there. And Yuri Patera currently still backing up in Vancouver. Quickly wanted to highlight that, so just good to see Tolopilo doing well.
Yeah. I mean, I'm also worried about injury. Sorry.
No, you go ahead.
I'm also worried about injury-wise because he also just came back from an injury last Friday.
Yeah.
He played for Abbotsford, which that's a whole other story if we want to talk about injuries. But he played for Abbotsford. They lost. I'm also worried about rushing him back from injury because he went down in the October 24th home opener to... Oh, who did they play? I was there. Ontario. I was like, I should know this. But yeah, he went down there with what looked like a groin injury. And then didn't play for almost a month, came back, and then is thrown into the NHL where he has to basically save the Vancouver Canucks franchise.
Yeah.
Because they decided to make wonderful goaltending decisions in the offseason, which... Yeah. That's a whole other topic that I'm going to get into another time. But yeah.
Yeah. Tolo doing everything and more you could ask of him. Just questions about how the organization is handling things continually. That's really the theme of this show of late. But we'll see what happens going forward because we've had some interesting reports out lately about potential trades. It's coming from a variety of insiders, so I'm just going to cite now Elliot Friedman, Rick Dollywall, I believe Chris Johnston, Ian McIntyre, and Pierre LeBrun have been involved, possibly Darren Drake. I'm just listing NHL insiders at this point, really.
What about Michael Bublé's favorite, Frank Saravalli?
Yes, him as well.
Elite ball knowledge.
So, I just want to talk about some of the players who are supposedly available for trade. Effectively, what this report said is that Vancouver is opening up shop on some of the upcoming free agents, likely to move several guys out, which, quickly I want to say, under normal circumstances, if this were a normal NHL franchise and I were a fan hoping for a rebuild, I would be celebrating this occasion. However, as I am a Vancouver Canucks fan, I am not upset necessarily, because it is definitely the right idea to start moving some of these guys out as this season becomes more and more hopeless. I am definitely a little apprehensive because of what I think we're going to end up either targeting or doing with assets we acquire. Because I have a feeling we're going to use them on win-now pieces.
Let's get another mid-defenseman.
Air quotes.
And then
stuff like that, or getting Pavel Zacha or something with assets we get back, but we'll see. So I want to run through some of the names who are potentially on the move. Starting with the one who seems to be attracting the most attention right now. Would hate to see him go, but I think it is the right move to part with Kiefer Sherwood before his contract expires. Kaya, what are your thoughts on a potential Sherwood trade? What do you hope to get back, and what would you like to see?
A first. 3 firsts. I want an entire franchise for Kiefer Sherwood. You know what? Let's trade Kiefer Sherwood for an owner. Let's see what happens there.
Kiefer Sherwood for Tom Gallardi, 1-for-1.
Yeah. Honestly, that would be hilarious. I wish NHL trades still worked like that, where you could trade a dude for like $1. Like, bring back those ridiculous kind of trades.
Deal is 1-for-1. David Camp for a washing machine.
David Camp for a washing machine.
I don't mean to be mean to David Camp. I'm just looking at the roster right now, and he was the name my eyes caught on.
More like Evander Kane for a washing machine, because he's washed. Anyway, Thank you. My drum kit's in the other room. Yeah, I wish they still had trades like that.
Yeah.
I could see it happening. I hope that it's picks, but also I don't trust. Like, if it's for a good team, the picks will be late in the first round, and the last time the Canucks drafted late. Actually, no, that's wrong. That's wrong. Never mind. I'm wrong. I'm very wrong.
I have a feeling I know what you were about to say.
I was gonna say the last time the Canucks drafted like late in like the 20s of the picks, I was like, yeah, the last time was Jared McCann, and that worked out great for the Canucks. No, it was Brock. I can't say anything. I can't say anything. I'm bad at math.
With Sherwood, so what I initially heard was that our initial ask starts with the second round pick at least, which I think could become a first as teams get more and more interested. And it does seem that, one, we have a good seller's market right now, and two, that multiple teams, we don't have any names yet, are already in trying to get Sherwood. So I think the idea of potentially getting a late first for him, especially as he continues to play well, is not entirely out of the question. I would maybe expect it to be more like a second and something else, but we'll see what happens. But no, like you said, I do definitely worry about what we would do with a first or a second if we get it, because, again, what I want to see is a rebuild. So what I would say is take that first or second and use it. What I expect to see is for that first or second to end up in Boston and Pavel Zacha to end up in Vancouver. But again, they can prove me wrong still, so I don't know yet.
I think sure would be a fit in Tampa. I'm just not sure what the Canucks would want back.
Yeah, no, Tampa would make some sense to me.
I just have some affinity towards the Tampa Bay Lightning. I don't know why. At the moment.
Talk about fair enough. We'll talk about Derek Forbort next. Currently out injured.
I forgot about him.
Same, and that's not necessarily a slight against him. It's just kind of the fact that he hasn't played in God knows how long, and we don't really know why.
Yeah,
because why would we?
I was like, I feel like we had another defenseman, but I just can't remember who.
There you go.
During the game today.
Yeah.
Yeah. Granted, when I woke up, it was 2 p.m. in the morning, so.
Yeah. So I think Forbort, I don't know. I don't think you'd get much for him. I think it would probably be like some kind of a fairly late pick, but he's the kind of guy who I could see a team who wants a little bit more of a veteran presence on the back end looking for a 6th or 7th defenseman. Still very much a serviceable... Oh my god. Didn't even notice I did it too.
A 6th or 7th defenseman.
Very much a serviceable player still. I think,
I age in a week.
So moving on from that, let's talk about one of the names who I've seen mentioned, but I don't think it's necessarily likely to move. I've heard Connor Garland's name come up, but I don't really... They just extended him. To me, if you are to trade Garland, or I heard DeBrusk mentioned even more abstractly, but that was really abstract, not directly saying, "Oh, someone's interested."
Power play that works.
So, if a player like that were to move, I feel like it would have to be somebody coming in and overpaying.
Mm-hmm.
Not much to say about that. Teddy Bluger is one who actually interests me a little bit on this market, because it does feel like...
What the heck has happened to this team, man?
Teddy Bluger, I feel like somebody, again, kind of like your Derek Forbort situation, where he's not going to get you that much, but because he is a reliable bottom 6 defensive guy who can kill penalties really effectively, someone will give you something for him. Wouldn't be the first time he's been dealt at the deadline, too. It would be, I believe, the second time in his career, because Vegas acquired him from Pittsburgh ahead of them winning the Stanley Cup a few years ago.
I completely I thought we got him straight from Pittsburgh. I forgot about Vegas.
No, there was another stop before he joined the retirement home.
I completely forgot that I've wiped the 2023 finals from my brain. So I was like, what do you mean Vegas won a cup?
Now there's one I don't know if you've been keeping up with the rumors too much, but there's one player who I haven't mentioned yet who is quite active in these rumors from Dollywall.
No way,
to the extent where Dollywall said quite confidently he will move. Not just saying he thinks he could or that there's interest. Dollywall seems incredibly confident that Evander Kane will get traded at some point.
Yes! Yes!
Headphone users like myself, I am so sorry for what just
I
transpired.
just made Alex deaf.
We will not be paying for your surgery to regain your hearing. I apologize. We don't make any money. And any money we do make will have to go towards mine. So, little Chroncast behind the scenes here. When I was coming up with my idea for how to run this segment, I intentionally didn't mention any of the players I wanted to talk about here at Takaya because I wanted a genuine reaction when I mentioned Evander Kane, which is also why I made him the last player before we move on to one other sort of related thing. I now regret that decision very much.
I mean, like, I was going to bring it up if you were.
Because my ears are ringing.
Yeah, sorry. But you did this to yourself.
Yep.
Yeah. I was actually going to bring it up, and I was like, where did all the rumors that he was going to go back to Edmonton at the deadline? Where did all those people go? Because, like, I mean, Edmonton probably doesn't want him now because they'd make him. He would make them even worse. But, like, get off the Canucks, please.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure how that deal would go down because you would have to assume we would retain salary on him if we were to even get back what we paid for from Edmonton. Maybe somebody overvalues him somewhere around the league. We certainly did, so it's
San Jose doesn't.
Not entirely out of the question that somebody else might think, oh, well, we can make this work. But yeah, that would be interesting to me. Another interesting thing of note ahead of the trade deadline is that the Canucks can only retain salary on 2 more players. We're still retaining on Ilya Mikheyev at the moment, and the league limits you to 3 retained contracts. I learned this the other day, and now everyone else has to suffer with knowing this.
Oh my god.
Now, of the players mentioned so far, if we were to go like full nuclear option and trade everyone, I would say the 2 I would want to retain on are Sherwood to maximize the return, because if you retain 50% on him, I think he basically becomes a league minimum player. Which Sherwood as a league minimum player at the deadline, huge for any contending team. Pretty much anyone is able to make that work, and it can drive up the price for us. As well as, I would say, Kane, just to try to get something out of him, at least salvage the 4th round pick you gave up. Maybe see if you can get more out of a desperation seller's market type move. You never know.
Please just get rid of him.
But there's one other player I want to talk about, and particularly the idea of retaining salary on him, because really, a lot of these potential trades are secondary in the Canucks market right now to the possibility of a Quinn Hughes move. So there's differing reports from everybody, from Frank Saravalli to Rick Dollywall to this person to that person to your aunt's mailman's dog's groomer's postman or something. Everyone has their own opinion on what was going to happen. I would say the initial report, and I am sticking by this, was that the front office appeared to have taken the stance that if he doesn't want to commit to Vancouver long-term or show this season that he wants to do that they will trade him this season rather than into the offseason or next season and potentially run the risk of losing him for free, which would be an incredibly Canucksy thing to do, but we'll see. Now, if Hughes does hit the market, obviously the first name everyone thinks of is New Jersey. I still don't think it's as much of a guarantee as some people do. Certainly on the trade market for us, when he hits free agency, I think the odds certainly get a lot higher. But again, I don't think it's a complete shoo-in that New Jersey is where he ends up.
Yeah, because also, one, do they have the cap space for that? Because they do have a lot of players that they need to pay.
Yep.
Including his 2 brothers. And speaking of his 2 brothers, as an oldest sibling of 2 younger siblings, I mean, I don't want to speak to the Hughes family dynamic because it's obviously a very different one. They seem to like each other, but I would not want to work with them. I work with one of them. That's enough. Yeah, I would if I had the chance to I had the chance to not live with my siblings, and I took that. Do I complain about it? Yeah. But also, so, Quinn Hughes, I know you're not the eldest daughter, but you're the eldest still. I understand if you don't want to work with them.
Like, I can speak from an eldest son perspective, because, like, listen, I love my sister. Would I want to work with her?
Mm-hmm.
No.
Yeah,
No.
I mean, yeah, I don't know. Hockey families are weird.
Yeah,
So,
and I think ultimately, too, like, what any NHL player is going to want the most is a chance to win a Stanley Cup.
Mm-hmm.
And I think New Jersey right now does appear as though they would give a chance to potentially do that, especially if you're adding a player like Quinn Hughes to the Devils. But one, we need to see what happens over the next little while. There's still a lot of stuff that can happen between now and when he hits free agency. I will come back to you. I just need to finish my rant. I think the brothers, to me, would serve as more of a tiebreaker than anything. If there's, like, multiple options that present themselves who give him a chance to win a Stanley Cup that are valued, like, where he would say roughly, equal chances winning a Stanley Cup in options A, B, and C. If one of them has his brothers, he'll go there. But if I'm just going to use Utah as an example because I've been talking about Utah a lot this podcast. I don't necessarily mean anything about Utah here. If the options are New Jersey or Utah, but Utah was presumed to have a better shot at winning a Stanley Cup, I feel like at that point he would take Utah. Again, Utah is just being used as an arbitrary team. I could have said the Hartford Whalers for all we care.
I would also want to play with Seth Jarvis. Yeah, I was going to say, like, what was I going to say? Jacob Markstrom, that was my counterpoint, was Jacob Markstrom in net for the Devils, which he's a good goalie, but then again, Stuart Skinner can get you to a cup final, so
yeah,
what do
exactly.
I know?
Stuart Skinner got the Oilers within a game of the Stanley Cup and got him to another final by what can only be defined as God thinking it would be really funny.
What? Yeah.
Yeah, like, so first of all, I want to say, right now, if I'm the Canucks, I am trading Quinn Hughes. Obviously, again, I do not get to make those decisions yet. So we'll see what happens.
Okay, Trevor.
But I feel like, one, I wonder where he ends up if this happens, and there's an option here that I really don't like, which I think you also will not like, which is apparently the Philadelphia Flyers are supposedly, the quote I heard in the article I was reading was salivating over the idea of getting Quinn Hughes, which, first of all, gross. Yeah. Second of all, gross.
Quinn, you can't fix him. You can't fix him, honey. That ain't gonna work, okay? You can run back to that man, but you can't fix him, okay? It's over. It's over. He's a dirty, cheating, lying, bald person. I don't want to swear. You can't fix him, honey. Leave him. But enough about Arne Slot. Leave him. Leave him. I'm crossing my arms. You can't see because my seat doesn't go up that way.
Okay, cool.
Authoritative.
Yeah. That wasn't that loud. That was just unexpected. Okay, we're yeah, like, and I just want to talk about Quinn because, like, he's, I would say, the most talented player I have ever seen in a Canucks uniform.
Yeah, but also if you're a captain,
and I say this
like you care about
fully consciously aware that I got the privilege of watching the Sedins and Roberto Luongo wearing Canucks uniforms, and I still mean it when I say that with Quinn Hughes. This is like a future Hall of Famer who I have said on this podcast, in articles, in any kind of form, if he stays a Canuck for his career, will retire as the greatest Vancouver Canuck of all time. He doesn't want it anymore. Like, you can see it when he's out there. He has what I saw some people describing as JT Miller body language going right now.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, I kind of get it. Like, with the amount he's been put through by this organization, I can understand where it's all coming from, where you're just kind of giving up and hopeless and frustrated with everything that's gone on. But also, this has to be a signal to the front office that you need to just accept the facts. You need to accept that it's not going to work. It's over. It's happened. Get the best return you can for him and move on. And this is why I kind of used the segue here to talk about Quinn Hughes from the last segment. I would like to see us keep one of those retained salary slots open if we can. Because imagine the return you can fetch trading Quinn Hughes for half his current contract, with another year still on it. Like, we're talking about a player who already, when you trade him, you're going to be getting back multiple firsts and probably a couple prospects and or roster players. With 50% retention? You can do a lot with whatever assets come back from that in terms of getting this organization back on track. And might I say, getting this organization back on track the right way. By getting this organization back on track, by getting those draft picks and prospects and focusing on development and using the picks right to give this hopeless organization something of a future. If you go around, you trade Quinn Hughes and you use those assets on Pavel Zacha moves, and maybe keep some of the assets, obviously, but like, you're not going to trade the assets 1-for-1 Quinn Hughes for Pavel Zacha. But if you use those assets in a series of moves that are just short-sighted and doing nothing, we've already wasted so many years of the career of the most talented player we've ever had. Don't waste the return from losing him too.
Okay. I don't really have any other input on that point. Yeah.
I've been wanting to get that point off my chest for a week.
Yeah, that's fair. I have a few more thoughts, but...
And I get the frustration from every side. Like, the fans who are frustrated with him right now, I totally, again, can understand where it's coming from. Like, when, especially fans in our age demographic who grew up with Henrik Sedin and Roberto Luongo wearing the C, seeing this now where you have the captain starting to look disinterested is jarring as hell. And, I agree, doesn't seem like how a captain should be acting. But I can also see where it's coming from.
Bo Horvath was a captain until he got traded. Like, even though there were rumors, even though it was clear that he was leaving, he did not step down in that role.
Yeah. And like,
it hasn't even been confirmed that this guy's leaving and he's already doesn't care. You're 26 years old, grow up.
With Horvath too, like, I think you could sense the frustration and you could sense that he was not enjoying what was going on in Vancouver at the time.
You could sense it,
but he was carrying himself differently with it.
Yeah. He was being a grown-up about it.
Yeah. Although, and again, I will say in Quinn's defense there, he was also there through all of the Horvath era and all of, like, I feel like Hughes has dealt with a lot more, maybe not a lot more, but at least some more, trying to come up with a word that does not involve me having to edit later, you know the word I want to use, from the Canucks organization in his time, BS.
Oh, okay, yeah.
He's dealt with a lot more of the Canucks organization's BS in his time as captain, and even before, in my opinion, because he was there throughout this whole Horvath saga and all of this. Mm-hmm. So, like, I can see all sides of it, and it effectively boils down to, from fans to the players, to the media, to the organization themselves, to the coaches, to the owner, to this, no one involved in Vancouver hockey right now is happy with the Canucks. We have created a situation where we have a product that is designed to give people entertainment and give people something to rally around and cheer for that nobody is able to enjoy at any level. Yeah. Which is honestly an achievement in some ways, that you can get the city this united behind, wow, this stinks.
Yeah. Yeah. It's fun. It's fun following the Canucks.
It's... They should pay us for this.
What else? I had another point that I was gonna say. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like if this body language and this back and forth continues to exist, I'm gonna say a controversial take here. I'm putting down the hook for this. He is going to be the second most infamous captain in Canucks history, if this gets any more dramatic.
Whoa.
I'm not giving him first.
No, I don't foresee anyone ever.
That guy is infamous because he made my parents meet, so therefore he is responsible for my existence. Not Trevor Linden. Don't worry.
Yeah. No, I'm aware who you're talking about.
Yeah, no. Yeah. I mean, I get it. There are other people speaking for him, and not him writing out his own handwritten contract, which includes a house. But if there's also a lot of emphasis on him only really caring about the Olympics, I get it's a different vibe than what Henrik did, because Henrik tried to stay healthy for the Canucks. He missed the Olympics, and there was a different time back in the NHL when it was just regular that the players went to the Olympics. And I understand it's a big deal. But also, yeah, that's my hot take.
I'm going to say that is the hottest take in Chroncast history in any form of the podcast existence.
You're welcome. That's what I'm here for.
On that, do we have anything else we want to say about the Canucks, or should we move on to the less depressing Vancouver hockey team?
Well, they're 1-1 so far.
Well, less depressing was not necessarily the right word for it. I meant to say the not depressing, but I just went with less.
Yeah. The Ducks. They are Ducks. Goldeneyes are Ducks.
Yep, you got me there. Okay. Vancouver Goldeneyes. They exist now. They have played 2 games, winning their home opener in overtime on last Friday.
A week ago.
Yes, I forgot what day it was today.
It's Friday.
I thought it was Saturday for some
reason. It's Saturday, Sunday, what?
But anyway. Now, I was stuck at work during this game, so I was unable to watch, but hell of a moment for Vancouver hockey.
Mm-hmm. The Torrent got shut out.
Did they?
Yeah, by the Frost in their first win of the year. Today. Yeah. Seattle, Vancouver, historic first game at the Pacific Coliseum. They win 4-3 in overtime. It was just a banger. The game was a banger. They went on the road. They played Wednesday night in Ottawa, lost 5-1. Not super great, but stuff happens. Yeah. And they play again tomorrow at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard, so 9 a.m. Pacific. I'm going to set my alarm preemptively. Where's my phone? So I actually wake up for that.
Yeah.
Because that's something I opened my phone to YouTube. Behind the scenes things. Yeah. So 9 a.m. tomorrow. Oh, well, technically, whenever this goes up, it'll be a Saturday. Today is Friday. It was cool to see a Vancouver team that actually seemed to care about what was happening on the ice. Yeah, just a great Graham overall, very exciting. There was a child born recently, like right after, like they went to the Goldeneyes game, and then the baby was born like the next day. Like, have you not seen that? I've seen it all over social media. Yeah,
Shout out Ryan Gold.
Yeah, okay, that's a different baby. Different baby.
We'll get to that baby later.
Yeah. But yeah, the youngest PWHL fan. Cool.
The youngest person ever.
Youngest person ever.
I'm sorry. Anyway.
Wait, they play New York. I thought I said...
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't say Boston. They play Boston next week. on the 3rd. Yeah.
And I mean,
It's also
first of all,
it's also the first PWHL team to have their own arena.
yes,
Be like the single tenant. Yeah.
Yeah. No, fantastic to see. First of all, loved having Christine Sinclair there. That's just cool. Anything Christine Sinclair is at is immediately better.
Yeah, she was hype. She was hype. Yeah.
Really the perfect person to have for like a Vancouver women's team. Really, you cannot beat Christine Sinclair for the home opener.
Just any Vancouver team whatsoever.
Really, yeah. I think especially for a women's team for that moment. But yeah. Two, just want to say like I wasn't able to get to that game. As I mentioned, I was at work. Don't know when I will be getting out there, but like I'm just so excited there's hockey at the Coliseum again. That is a venue that deserves hockey. My childhood was spent going with my dad to Giants games at the Coliseum. So I just cannot wait to get back in that building to watch hockey again.
Yeah, it's a venue that's historic. If you want more of the history, I have a whole YouTube video about it. And I wrote another article about it for the Hockey News. So,
if we remember, we'll put those in the description of this episode.
If you remember.
If I remember, yes.
Yeah.
ADHD.
I have new ADHD pills. They're pink. I'm really excited about them. They're pink.
Nice.
That's the main reason I'm excited. Not that they'll help whatsoever. It's just that they're pink. And I love pink. Yay! I've lost my train of thought.
Goldeneyes.
Yes, Goldeneyes. Yeah, I'm excited. Hockey's back at the Pacific Coliseum. It's a great venue. It's a historic venue. It's one of the most unique arenas, I would say in the country, really, in the world. It might be a bit of a stretch, but it's beautiful. It's great just to be out there. I was there for part of training camp and for the Goldeneyes, and yeah, just wow. It's very cool. It's very cool. That was where I saw my first ever hockey game. Was the Giants game. For those who don't know, the Giants, I don't want to say got evicted because that's not true, but they don't play. They left due to, I think it was attendance issues. There's a bunch of other stuff. The Vancouver Giants relocated to the Langley Event Center. So yet another team that claims to be from Vancouver when they play at Langley. Just adding to the list. They were the first. I'll give them that credit.
The Trailblazers.
Trailblazers, yeah. Exactly. Yeah, so they used to play there until about 2016, 17, I want to say. And since then, there's been no hockey at the Pacific Coliseum. It's just been Super Dogs and Disney Ice. So, yeah, I'm excited for just more... just the venue overall is just beautiful.
No, like since the Giants left, I think I've been in that building once for Super Dogs, and I have not been back since. So
yeah, no, I
cannot wait to get back.
I hadn't been in that building since I was like 10. Yeah. So I saw my first hockey game there when I was 5. I got a Giant hat that was a foam puck. I had the Giants logo. I don't know if I still have it. I'm pretty sure I still have my jersey somewhere, my Giants jersey. It might be in my closet, but. It also is probably in storage. Never mind. But I'm pretty sure I kept it. But yeah. So. Yeah.
Anything else to say about the Goldeneyes, or should we move on to other sports?
Hockey. The MacGuffin.
Yes, MacGuffin
Update. The Philadelphia Flyers still running away with it. They've had it. They've had the in-season MacGuffin, Stanley Cup, whatever you want to call it, 3 times. Not too resounding success, though. Last time we talked, it was the New York Islanders. They took it away from them, held it for 2 days, and now Tampa Bay has it. The Loser Cup, or the reverse MacGuffin. Nope. Last time we talked, New York Rangers had it. After over a week, St. Louis took it. And then just earlier today, Ottawa lost to St. Louis. So now it is the Ottawa Senators holding that. The longest team to have it, tied between Buffalo and Dallas. 2 equally bad teams. The longest reign, for the in-season cup is Philadelphia, which,
Ew.
I wasn't gonna say it. Yeah. Anyway, other sports.
Yeah. Feel like there's no better place to start than with the Whitecaps today. Tomorrow at time of recording, probably today when you're listening to this, or in the past when you're listening to this, who knows? That's how podcasts work. The Whitecaps will be taking on San Diego FC in San Diego in the MLS Western Conference Final. Someone pinch me, they beat LAFC in a playoff game.
They slayed the dragon.
They slayed the dragon in dramatic fashion, does not even begin to cover it for that game. So, I'm just going to pull up my app for a little rerun through this game. I give it to you because my brain cannot comprehend what I saw still without a little bit of assistance reading something. First 40 minutes of this game, goalless, Whitecaps looking like they were on the front foot, but still a fairly balanced performance. Yohei Takeoka in the 40th minute, with a pass that some have described as being a little something like what we'd see out of a guy like Patrick Mahomes. Looking Mahomey out there. Launches one up the pitch. Emmanuel Sabby gets on the end of it and chips Hugo Lloris. 1-0 Whitecaps. Stadium, which again, sellout crowd at BC Place. Beautiful. Amazing. Nothing quite like that. In rapture. 46th minute. Ball comes into the box. Hugo Lloris cannot handle it. Scoots back out to Matias Laborda. Makes it 2-0 right before we go into the break. The stadium, once again, absolutely losing their minds, particularly in the south side. Just no one quite believing what they're seeing, thinking this is too good to be true, right? Mm-hmm. Started to look like that might be the case, because in the 60th minute, Heung-min Son finds the back of the net to make it a 2-1 game. Little nervy from there going forward, but everything seemed like it was going to be okay until the final minutes of the game. Tristan Blackman decided to breathe near Denny Bouanga, is sent off for this egregious offense. Whitecaps do not appeal as it was the second yellow, and long story. I just quickly need to say, that was a horrible call.
They should have appealed.
That is never a yellow. That is barely a foul in this situation in the game. Heung-min Son steps up to take the free kick after we sub on Bilal Halbouni to get an extra defender out there. Son, with, to his credit, possibly the best free kick I've ever seen live. Puts it into the top corner against the 10-man Whitecaps. Things get a little nervy until the end of extra time, which the ref let go for like 3 whole minutes beyond when he should have. Which was just, honestly, like, I don't know what he was getting paid here. This was incredible.
Tim Ford. Just in this headset.
Tim Ford wishes he could have been there. Tim Ford, it wouldn't have been that nervy. LAFC just would have won 3-0.
Tim Ford was celebrating that Sonny goal. Which was a great goal, I will say.
Fantastic goal. If that Sonny goal had been saved, Tim Ford would have run up to get the rebound and put that home.
Yeah, Son Heung-min is like... He's an amazing player. It broke my heart when he went to LAFC because I was such a huge fan of him outside of LAFC. Mm-hmm. And then he went to LAFC, which I just morally cannot support.
Yeah.
So it hurt so much cheering against him, but also he was playing for the evil empire. So, like, I'm not going to cheer on Kylo Ren. Like, bro.
I mean, I was next to an Arsenal fan at this game. Shout out former Chroncast host Ryan.
I was like,
so
who the hell? Oh, yeah. Right.
I was just having fun because, you know, former Spurs player.
Yeah.
Anyway, extra time. LAFC are really just pinning us back the whole time because we are down a man and they've just got all the momentum now off of that late goal. Mm-hmm. Late into stoppage time. I forget the order that these two happened in, so please forgive me for that. Bilal Halbouni goes down injured. The Whitecaps are out of subs at this point, so they are down to 9 men for the rest of the game. Bilal Halbouni picks up what I believe is an ACL injury, not a tear, expected to be like 7 to 10 weeks, so his season is over, which I just want to say to Bilal Halbouni, if somehow he hears this, fabulous season, love the commitment we saw from you every game out there, sucks that it's ending this way, but be proud of what you've done this year. It's fantastic from him. Down to 9, LAFC with a moment that, how shall I put this, led to some very brown pants by many Caps fans. Crossed into the box, off the bar, comes back out to Denny Bouanga, hits the bar, either the post or the bar, comes back to Bouanga once again, bar and out.
Crossbar challenge!
Denny Bouanga conveniently forgot how to play football on this day, as he does many days when he doesn't get given penalties, so... Kid stays out, we go to pens. The nerves going into pens are high, but I think the fact that we just witnessed what can only be described as divine intervention keeping that ball out of the net on the 3-shot, the post-bar post thing. I don't know what was going on. Son steps up to take his penalty. Post. At this moment, I think me and everyone in the South Side started to think, it's happening. Verhalter steps up, scores. Bouanga scores. Nelson scores. Mark Delgado, former LA Galaxy player.
Oh, okay. Yes.
Famously quoted as saying, after Galaxy won the cup with him, this city, something along the lines of, this city has 2 teams. It's like the Lakers and the Clippers. You know who the bigger one is. While he was a Galaxy player. Pays tribute to his former club by putting it way over the net. Attacking a BC Place pigeon. Not actually, just, you know.
Okay, I was just like, poor pigeon.
Sorry. No pigeons were harmed in the making of this podcast. Gold scores, Andrew Moran scores, Eddie Aracampo gets his penalty saved, Frankie Amaya scores, but Matias Laborda steps up.
Eddie Aracampo can't do anything right.
Puts it past the very Spursy Hugo Lloris. And the Whitecaps are moving on and are 1 game away from an MLS Cup final. Like I said before, somebody pinch me.
Yeah. Insane. That's all I can say. It was insane.
I can't believe this is my club.
Yeah, you were there. I wasn't able to be because A, tickets sold out, and I am a genius and didn't get season tickets. 2, I was doing play-by-play. Thankfully, the penalty shootout... So, let me also put this in perspective. The Vegas Grand Prix was the same night, and it was Pacific Standard Time, so it's the one race that's, like, actually decent for this time zone, because everything else is either... I mean, like, it's a midday on a Sunday for a bunch of other races in, like, the Americas and stuff, but the European... Like, I'm waking up at 6 a.m. on a Sunday to watch cars go around in a circle.
Yeah.
Like, this is my life.
Japan's at a decent time.
Japan's at a decent time. I think I did an all-nighter one year to do China.
Oh, wow.
That was last year. But yeah, I've done all-nighters to watch. Last year during Vegas, because that was when Max won the championship, I stayed up all night and I made a blanket. Yeah. What else was I going to say? I was going to say something else. So the Vegas Grand Prix, the game started at 6:30. That's when kickoff was for the Caps and LAFC. That's when kickoff was. The race started at 8. The race had finished. The Caps LAFC game was still going. There had been safety cars, there had been DNS. So much had gone on in that race. It had finished by the time they were doing the podium, and I think they were just getting the penalties for the Caps. Like, that's how insane that game was. Yeah, I remember getting a text from my friend saying, I can't do PKs without you. Shout out Alyssa, because we always hold hands during PKs. The Caps still won. It worked out. But yeah, that was insane to watch. It was thankfully during an intermission, the PKs were, but I remember my producer, she would say, like, in breaks in the play, she was like, it's still going on. I'm like, I know. Like, about the game. But yeah, intermission, it was me, our producer for that game, and then one of the parents of one of the players on one of the teams I was doing play-by-play for watched with us. I don't think he was a Caps fan, but he was just hanging out, seeing what happened, because I was explaining something, and I was just like, yeah, that was, let's just say, I screamed and it echoed in the arena, which I was slightly embarrassed about, but that's also not the first time that's happened to me with something. So I celebrate things. But yeah, I was really worried because the last time I did a weekend of play-by-play was the World Series when we lost. Well, the Blue Jays lost. I won't say we because I won't speak for you, Mr. Trader. Okay, Mr. 51st State, shut up. Okay, that just made your life more difficult, bucko.
I'm not even editing that.
Okay. Alright, I'm the one who lives close to the border, so... I don't know what point I was trying to make there. I don't have a brain right now. Yeah, the Whitecaps. What? What? They did a penalty. Okay, so they had a camera facing the bench. And what I really enjoyed was they didn't just have it in the good moments for the Caps. They also had it when LAFC equalized too. So
I loved Isaac Boehmer.
Isaac is so... I love Isaac Boehmer so much.
He's great.
I think it was Ali who spiked Ali Ahmed, who spiked a water bottle when they equalized, which I was just like, okay, damn. And then, but yeah, so they had Bilal Halboudi, who had the ACL injury. He was sitting there in front. He stayed out to make sure to watch the penalties, and everyone's all hyped up and stuff like that. But yeah, when they were celebrating, he couldn't get up, obviously, to go and celebrate with his teammates, and so he's sitting there just kind of looking, and I felt so bad. And then you see Thomas Muller come back into frame and go over to him. I'm like, oh my god. This is what happens when a team likes each other. This is what happens when you have culture in a team. If you told me
not even Muller who has brought a team of culture. We had a team with a fantastic culture.
Yeah, and he's just added to it.
Perfect piece to add to that culture and fit in with that culture just brilliantly.
This team as if Zava worked.
Muller is just he's if you combined the good attributes of everyone from Ted Lasso. The profile of Zava, the leadership of Roy, the general just infectious positivity. I wouldn't
say Roy had leadership, let's be real here.
Oh, Roy was a leader, just an angry leader.
I don't think Thomas is like that, though. He's not exactly...
No, but it's that effective leadership, not necessarily the same style.
Okay. I would say Isaac's more of a leader. But I feel like he's quieter about it. But that would be more Ryan, I feel. I'm not giving every Whitecaps player...
Yeah, this could be a whole podcast episode of its own, and it would not be a very good one.
Yeah, this is a Canucks show.
For now.
For now. Until the franchise folds in about 2 weeks.
Yeah,
when I blow up my birthday candles, that's... No, I'm just kidding.
I loved watching Isaac Boehmer's reactions on that camera video because you could just see... I just felt so seen. Because him, jumping up and down when we scored, and then when LAFC, you just see him slink back in his seat, oh no.
Yeah.
That was literally me.
Isaac Boehmer
that was exactly how I was reacting.
He has a cow named Muffin, and I feel like that encapsulates all of my feelings towards Isaac Boehmer perfectly.
The pride of Okanagan Falls.
God.
So yeah, when you're listening to this, hopefully Caps will be playing San Diego today.
Don't they play Sunday?
No, the game's Saturday.
I thought it was Sunday.
It's Saturday.
I was told it was Sunday.
I'm double checking,
okay,
but I am incredibly confident it is Saturday. Yep, Saturday, 6 o'clock.
Oh, you're kidding me. You're kidding me. Okay, I had it on Sunday. 6 o'clock?
6 o'clock p.m.
Why do you hate me, Don Garber? Caps at San Diego.
We have been going for quite a while. Should we just quickly run through the F1 and then wrap up?
Oh, yeah, right, F1.
Okay, I didn't watch any of the race because I was at the Caps game and then at the Tap and Barrel.
Okay, well, let's just say, Max Verstappen! You can't stop him. First of all, Lando bottles pole in about 30 seconds, which is hilarious and also completely expected. Oscar fell away. Don't know what went on there. But yeah, basically, anyway, Max ends up taking the win. His 69th win of his career. Nice. I'll say it because you're eating chocolate. He's eating turtles. Get his ass, PETA. Anyway, Max Verstappen. He's eating baby turtles. How can you let him get away with this? He's so dumb with me. Max Verstappen wins. He gets closer in the championship, but it wasn't like super close mathematically. He could still win, but it got even better because McLaren got disqualified. Both of them. Both of them got disqualified for rear skid block wear thing. And then Andrea Stella went onto F1 TV for the warm-ups for Qatar. He was just like, there should be a gray area or something. Like, if it's not intentional, like we were like this point, like millimeter off or whatever. Bro, that's not how the rules work. These technical agreements have been in place longer than your drivers have been alive. This is not how the FIA does things here. Yeah. Anyway, Qatar sprint is at the time of recording tomorrow morning. Oscar's on pole. Lewis is washed. Yuki outqualified Max for the first time in his Red Bull racing career, which is insane because it's also basically been confirmed that it's going to be Isaac Hadjar moving up into Red Bull next season. So, or I should say, being demoted to Red Bull next season. Demoted to Red Bull next season. Yuki Tsunoda is likely out of F1, unfortunately for him. Now is the question of, is Liam Lawson back at Racing Bulls? Most likely. Who is going to be his teammate? It is likely going to be Arvid Lindblad, who's good. But I think another year in F2 could suit him. I think it should be Iwasa, but it's Helmut Marko, so it's going to be Arvid Lindblad. I'm not saying anything else about that.
Can't say that about our listener.
Yeah, I was going to say, not to piss off our devoted listener, Helmut Marko. Yeah, I was a big person on the Yuki train. Do I think the car is also undrivable and Max is just insane? Yeah. Max would win an F1 race in my 2007 Toyota RAV4. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, Qatar, it'll be... Lando could technically win the championship. Do I think he does it this weekend? I'm gonna be real, no. I don't think Lando is going to be World Drivers' Championship. It's going to be between Max and Oscar.
I don't think he does it this weekend. I think he does it in Abu Dhabi.
I think Oscar's going to bounce back either, or Max is going to completely tear apart both of them and go for the split.
The thing is, like, with the gap Lando has...
Yeah.
He kind of just needs to keep it between the lines.
Yeah, but...
And I get that he doesn't always do that.
He thinks differently.
He's reined it in a lot. Like, you have to remember, the guy you're talking about here is Max Verstappen.
Yeah.
He was called Crash Stappen at the start of his career.
When he was 17.
Yeah. Drivers mature over time. Lando is a lot less mistake-prone than he was before, and I think he's a lot more locked in right now than he has been previously.
Is before last weekend? Because let's remember, he had pole.
Yeah. Yeah, like he had pole and he bottled it, but it's not like he threw his car at a wall.
Yeah, but
Like,
also
he doesn't need to go out there and, like, completely dominate 2 races or something. Like, he just needs to really keep up with the field.
Mm-hmm.
Which right now he has a lead in.
Yeah.
In the best car, too.
Mm-hmm. And he also has the advantage of being British for the FIA, so, you know. We'll see.
Like, I, as a Lando fan, I feel good right now. Like, I definitely would have felt more confident if not for the, the disqualification. But I'm not sitting here, like, terrified. Like, I'm like, okay, cool, we can do this.
Yeah. I'm a Max fan, but I also just don't want to see Lando win. And that's based on Alex being a Lando fan. So, you know what? Let's also bring in let's bring in a quote from yourself, because you weren't worried about the Blue Jays beating the Yankees.
Same number of rings this season.
And that's all we have time for today.
Thank you, everybody, for listening. You can find us on social media at Nux Chronicles. There's another thing I normally say in the outro that I've completely forgotten about, so it's just getting ignored this week.
Thank you, Helmet Marco.
Thank you. No, I've remembered that one. I feel like... Anyway. Bye.